Any advice on how to deal with living with a terminal illness? I'm having trouble staying present and have frequent moments of pure terror, even though I have been dealing with this for 4 years. When you're running out of time, and you're aware that you're running out of time, it's an opportunity for living in the timeless present. So, a situation like this, if you allow it to force you into the present moment, then it actually dissolves your ego, because as you live in presence, the ego dissolves. Fear will come the moment you leave the now, and then it'll always be a sign, like a taskmaster says, back to the present moment. In a wider sense, we all are suffering from a terminal illness. We just don't know when it's going to end. For some it comes suddenly, they never thought it would come so quickly. For others it seems to be a long way off still. And most people tend to think that death will come not today, in some future moment. But none of us are here for that long in the physical form. It may seem long when you're 20 years old. So the awareness of fleetingness of the human form, your form, is very important. The awareness of mortality is potentially a deepening realization that drives you deeper and awakens you. So it can burn away the entire personality almost completely. And so you live in continuous, intense presence. And that is the fulfillment of your life here. It's actually a wonderful thing to know that your time is limited, to be aware of the approaching end, or it may not be at all that close, that sometimes the doctors are completely wrong. But it can be a great thing to be aware of that, so that you can consciously participate in the death experience, which really is essentially to die before you die. For some people, death comes so suddenly that there's no opportunity for that. But hopefully they've been practicing presence. As you know, in some Buddhist traditions, the Buddhist monks meditate regularly in the cemetery or the morgue where the dead bodies are kept. So they sit surrounded by dead bodies. That takes you deep. Awareness of the fleetingness of the human form takes you deeper beyond form. You've lived here for quite a few years. You don't mention how many years. But how vital is this fact that you may not experience many more sunsets? You've only seen a few hundred. May not experience many more cups of tea, coffee, meals with friends, eating, traveling, experiencing new places, another mountain, another seashore, another forest. May not have any more new relationships. Falling in love, maybe not anymore, not enough time. Falling out of love, missed out on all those things, had it perhaps a few times. How many more, whatever it is that one can experience. Books to read, movies to watch. See the people around you grow older, or the youngsters grow up and then grow old. How many more orgasms am I going to have? No more. Only had a few hundred or thousands or whatever. Is that also dreadful? The end of sensory experience? It's fine, it's lovely while it lasts. Well, it's not entirely lovely because there's also pain and suffering involved in sensory experience. But even that people cling to. No more drama. But if you look at it closely, see, it's not such a... Yes, it's a pity, no more of this, no more of that, but does it matter that much after you've lived here for years and years? Is there something that matters more than further sensory experience, further experience in this realm? Perhaps you have the feeling, I haven't lived enough. Will you ever have a feeling that you've lived enough? Or that you haven't acquired enough knowledge, that you've lived here without finding out the secret of life? Well, perhaps the secret of life is accessible to you more easily than it was before. Because perhaps the secret of life is not in further experiences. You get them as long as you need them. And then life says no more. So is there something that is deeper than further experiences? Yes. The awakening of consciousness, which is not an added experience. It requires no time. What is required for it is the removal of time from your consciousness, not from your watch, that's okay. The removal of time from your consciousness. And what better opportunity for the removal of time from your consciousness than the awareness that there isn't much time left for this form. So you can be grateful. It seems absurd to the ego. You can be grateful for this. It can be the fulfillment of your purpose for being here, which is spiritual awakening. And so you represent the presence, the consciousness itself. Realize that is who you are, not what happens in it or to it. That's all requires time. So on a practical level, every moment you're living in just this moment. You're not leaving. Your conscious attention is not straying from just this. That's a continuous meditation. And you increasingly, the personality, the mind-made self gets burned up in that. And you go around your life in that state of the Buddha, in which you are no longer here as a person. You just look like a person, but you're here as divine presence, conscious presence. How long no longer matters. Because you realize that for the fulfillment of your life, further experiences of sensory kind or mental kind are not necessary. And so you can be grateful for that which otherwise would have been dreadful. And occasionally you may lose that presence and you go into fear. And that can be used as an alarm signal. Whenever fear arises again, the alarm signal tells you back to presence. And then you perhaps lose yourself in past and nostalgic thinking of, oh, I remember that with that person, wasn't that lovely? It's all going away, it's all gone. And then you suffer again, back to present. And then you go into the future. Oh, I'll be dead this time next year, I may not be here anymore. Back to present. So the fear then is like someone saying, shh, shh, back. Fear or nostalgia, suffering over the past, shh, shh, back, shh, back. Oh. And so the end of the form is coming for all of us fairly soon. We're just deluding ourselves that it's not soon, because even if it's another 50 years, you'll be surprised how quickly you reach the end of that, and then it'll be called soon. You may also notice as you grow older, it seems that time is passing more quickly, so it gets sooner and sooner. That, by the way, has nothing to do with Einstein's theory of relativity, but it's one's perception of time changes as you become used to more and more sensory experience and repetition of sensory experience. It seems to pass, when everything is fresh and new and you're young, it seems to take longer. So when you reach the age of 30, it seems like, okay, another 30 years and I'll be 60, but that will pass much more quickly than the first 30 years in your perception. So use this precious opportunity of fairly prolonged awareness of the approach of so-called death. The essence of who you are has nothing to do with the form and is not subject to death, but you don't need to make that into some concept to believe in, to give you comfort. That would be, well, better than nothing, but that's not the real thing. The real thing is you don't have any concept as a foothold. No concepts give you your sense of security anymore, but presence. Thank you. Good.